Got some breaking news here on TYT Sports. So, the Cubs have underachieved. The White Sox have been absolutely shitty for years, as a matter of fact. Now, the two Chicago teams, the Northsiders and the Southsiders, have come to an agreement and decided to make a trade. Now, it's a crazy thing how it actually happened, because via this tweet, I believe from Jesse Rogers, Rick Hahn, the White Sox general manager, and the Cubs general manager, Theo Epstein and company, met at Marlins Park, and they had to hide from everybody so others would not pick up that they were meeting, and maybe there were talks going on, what have you. So a huge move for the Cubs. Firstly, they get Jose Quintana, who I know from a wins-loss perspective, which doesn't even mean a damn thing anymore. Not the best. But he is having a really good year. Not many can hit his fastball. His curveball is really good as well. Changeup, not phenomenal, but certainly could improve. And although he goes from a really, really solid hitter's park to another park that when the wind is in full effect, there is no chance that a ball is not flying out, he gets to go to a contender as well. Now, the Cubs did give up a lot. Okay? And I'm going to get to that momentarily. But touching on Jose Quintana, he reminds you of, I know they have John Lester on the team, but he reminds you of a 28-year-old in the making John Lester. The other thing that is so vitally important is that his contract right now in Major League Baseball is atrocious for him and his agent, but so team-friendly because he's under control for the next 3 years. And in all of those years, all of them, I believe it's 8 and then maybe a little over 9 and then just under 12. For all 3 years, he's making less than $12 million. For a career starter with an ERA of 3.58, that is a fucking steal for any team that is trying to compete. The other thing, and I'm showing you this right here, in terms, and I believe this is via ESPN, in terms of the starters right now on the Cubs, they've completely underachieved. So now what you do is you potentially say goodbye to John Lackey, who's 38 years old and dealing with plantar fasciitis, and then potentially Jake Arrieta, who's not having the best season right now. And you slot Jose Quintana, a lefty, as the third starter, so you can go lefty, righty, lefty, and the Cubs can have a resurgence, at least from the starting pitcher standpoint, for not only this season, the second half, but also years to come. Now, who are they trading? Eloy Jimenez, as you're seeing right here, one of the best prospects in baseball. I believe Keith Law has him at number 5. Dylan Cease, another pretty good pitching prospect. So hitter, pitcher, and then 2 other prospects in the minors. Here's the thing, and I know a lot of people are going to be thinking, well, they gave up way too much for a guy that's pretty good. Jose Quintana is more than pretty good. The numbers don't reflect it. Secondly, isn't this what Theo Epstein does? Isn't this what his model has been? He sees the window right now wide open for having John Lester under control, for having Chris Bryant under control, for having Anthony Rizzo under control, for having Ian Happ under control, for having all of these guys under control. Isn't this what you do if you're the Cubs and if you're Theo Epstein? You acquire or bring up all these prospects, and then when it's ready and when it's time to compete and you're ready to move on, you trade away those pieces in order to bolster your team a little bit further to make the playoffs. And look, for the roster that they have, they should go to the World Series this year. But this almost, not cements it, but gets them that much closer to achieving that goal. And I understand that Eloy Jimenez could be a phenomenal, phenomenal player. But it was time to go. And I know that they traded Gleyber Torres. But unfortunately, that time came and they won because of those trades, and they're going to win even more because of this trade. This is a trade that needed to happen for a team that is so they are underachieving by stretches of the imagination that we could never fathom. Now, the other point to this is the Brewers, the Yankees, the Astros, they were all inquiring about Jose Quintana. All of these teams are not only in contention, but are going to make the playoffs. Or they're not even in contention. They all are going to make the playoffs. They all wanted to booster their rotations. So with them doing this, the Cubs, it puts them now in that conversation of catching the Brewers. Even if the Brewers fall off, they still have to catch them because it's over 5 games. I believe 5.5 as it stands right now at the All-Star break. Still during the break as we begin regular season play tomorrow. But this is an absolute bargain. This is a big win. Now, from a White Sox perspective, the non-competing team, I have never seen a general manager go from having the shittiest minor league system in all of Major League Baseball, because that is absolutely what the White Sox have had for many, many years and currently did going into the season until they made the trade for Yoan Moncada, Michael Kopech, and now they get Eloy Jimenez. This team is going to be really, really interesting and really, really good. Not yet, but they will be really, really good. Give them about 2 years. Give them 3 years. Now we're talking playoffs. Now we're talking those young players that Rick Hahn acquired, who inherited something that a lot of GMs would be scared of. Not the market, but the roster. And going from the worst farm system in Major League Baseball to the best that quickly. So I tip my hat, if I had one, to Rick Hahn and also to Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer for getting this trade done because it had to be done. And I cannot think of another pitcher who would fit what the Cubs are trying to do right now while also being under control for the next 3 years and also in his prime at 28, like a lefty especially, like Jose Quintana. Send your thoughts. Leave them in the comments section below. Follow me on Twitter at Rick Strom, on Instagram at Ricky Strom, and subscribe to TYT Sports.